Let's go Dolphins! An unexpected bombshell has just exploded behind the scenes at the Miami Dolphins, and if you think Mike McDaniel's season is assured, you'd better brace yourself for the blow. Two NFL giants are being considered as potential direct replacements for the franchise. And no, this isn't some desperate fans' conspiracy theory. This is breaking news, with big names and real connections to the Dolphins front office. Things are boiling in Miami, and this news could change the course of the team forever. Before I reveal who these names are and what this means for the immediate future of our team, click like if you're a fan who never abandoned the Dolphins, even in the darkest moments. If you've ever chanted "Go Dolphins," even when everyone doubted us, leave yours in the comments. I want to see who really bleeds water and orange. Now hold on tight, because what I discovered will touch the hearts of all fans. Let's cut straight to it. According to insider-level talk, two very real names are being eyed as potential replacements for Mike McDaniel if things go south. Current Baltimore Ravens head coach John Harbaugh, and ESPN analyst and former Jets/Bills coach Rex Ryan. Yeah, that Rex Ryan. Let's unpack this. Starting with Harbaugh, at first glance, it sounds crazy. The guy's led the Ravens to constant playoff contention, holds a Super Bowl ring, and has a long-standing reputation for bringing stability and professionalism to an organization. But hold up, the Ravens fan base is done with him. They've had enough. In fact, Ravens content creators are already putting out videos discussing possible replacements for Harbaugh. It's not just speculation anymore, it's a movement within that fan base. Harbaugh's resume is strong. He's been the Ravens head coach since 2008. That's 16 seasons, folks. A career 61.6% win rate in the regular season and a 54.2% win rate in the playoffs. But here's the problem. Despite all the talent he's had, especially with Lamar Jackson and a series of elite defenses, the Ravens have consistently choked in the playoffs. Just one Super Bowl win and a long trail of almosts. Let's run through his most recent playoff history. Asterisk 2020, second in AFC North, loses in the divisional round, Bills. Asterisk 2021, misses the playoffs. Asterisk 2022, wildcard loss to Bengals. Asterisk 2023, number one seed in the AFC, loses the AFC championship game at home to the Chiefs. Asterisk 2024, 12-5, again number one in the division, loses in the divisional round, Bills. Asterisk 2025, off to a horrendous 1-4 start. This is a team that's consistently had top-level talent, yet can't break through. And yes, some of that blame falls directly on Harbaugh. Losing only once to Mahomes in the playoffs means you can't use the "we ran into a dynasty" excuse too often. This raises a huge question. Can Harbaugh really elevate a team when it matters most? But despite his recent struggles, I'd still take him in a heartbeat if McDaniel is shown the door. Why? Because Miami needs stability. Harbaugh would instantly bring structure, discipline, and respect to the locker room, three things this franchise has sorely lacked under Greer's oversight. Players want to play for him. Free agents respect him. And unlike McDaniel, who's still finding his voice, Harbaugh owns the room the moment he walks in. Still, Harbaugh's not without downside. He's 63. So realistically, you're getting a 5 to 8 year window. He's also not known as a schematic genius on either side of the ball. He came up through special teams and doesn't have an identity tied to offense or defense. In today's NFL, where most successful coaches are either offensive or defensive masterminds, that could be a concern. But in my opinion, that's a minor knock when the alternative is chaos. Now, let's pivot to the other name on the radar, and boy, is this one controversial, Rex Ryan. Look, I get the nostalgic appeal. He took the New York Jets, yes, the Jets, to 2 AFC title games. That's not easy to do, but we need to talk facts here. Rex Ryan has been out of coaching since 2016. His last job? Fired before the season finale by the Bills after the locker room turned on him. The man literally lost the respect of his players. His career record? 61-66, sub-.500. And aside from those first 2 miracle years in New York, it's been mediocrity followed by collapse. He was never more than a spark plug, all fire, no long-term results. And yet somehow, he's being linked to the Dolphins because owner Stephen Ross reportedly wants a coach with experience and discipline. But here's the real issue, Rex Ryan would be a disaster. In today's NFL, his style just doesn't work. He's all personality and outdated schemes. Worse, fans only want him because he's charismatic on ESPN. But coaching in the league and sounding good on TV? Completely different animals. If it came down to a choice between Rex Ryan and keeping the current setup with McDaniel and Grier, as wild as it sounds, I'd take another painful season over bringing in Ryan. That's how strongly I feel about how wrong a fit he'd be. Alright, let's keep it going, because there's a lot more to unpack here. If we're being real, what's driving these coaching rumors isn't just a whim or fan speculation. It's the growing frustration with what this Dolphins regime has become. The Mike McDaniel project, while innovative and exciting at times, has consistently faltered when it matters most. And Chris Grier? He's long overstayed his welcome. This front office has had ample time, resources, and draft capital, and yet, Miami still can't figure out how to build a complete, championship-caliber football team. That's the root of all of this. So when names like Harbaugh and Rex Ryan start popping up in serious conversations, it's not just idle chatter, it's a reflection of ownership pressure and fan base fatigue. Stephen Ross might finally be realizing that patience isn't paying off. Let's revisit the Harbaugh possibility one more time. If he actually becomes available, whether it's a firing or a mutual parting, you can bet the Dolphins won't be the only team interested. But Miami might have a trump card, desperation. And sometimes, desperation leads to bold decisions. Harbaugh has the pedigree. He's got the experience. He's respected throughout the league. But more importantly, he'd walk into this locker room and command respect instantly, something that Grier and McDaniel have clearly struggled to establish on a consistent basis. Now, I get it. Some fans are worried about his outdated style, his failure to develop a dynamic offense, and the underwhelming playoff record since Lamar Jackson took over. Those concerns are fair. But ask yourself this, how many years have the Dolphins had a real chance at consistent postseason football? Harbaugh would give them that baseline, something that's been missing for decades. He might not be perfect, but he's a stabilizer, and that alone puts him head and shoulders above anyone Grier would handpick. Now back to the Rex Ryan mess, and yeah, I'm calling it a mess because that's exactly what it would be. Rex represents everything this franchise should be running away from. Outdated defensive philosophies, locker room toxicity, and media theatrics that might play well on ESPN but would implode in a real NFL facility. He hasn't coached in nearly a decade, and the last time he did, he lost the team so badly that the Buffalo Bills canned him before the final game. Think about how bad things need to be for Buffalo to do that. Bringing in Rex would set the Dolphins back years. It would be nothing more than a PR stunt wrapped in nostalgia. And here's the worst part. There are actually people in the organization who think this could work. That's the level of dysfunction we're talking about. That's the influence Chris Grier and yes men in the front office still have. That's why the fans need to speak up, loud and clear, before the Dolphins make a colossal mistake. Let's turn now to some of the other experienced names being floated. Mike McCarthy might not be the sexy hire, but he's a Super Bowl winning coach with proven results. He knows how to work with QBs, he knows how to win, and he's coached through every NFL storm imaginable. If the Dolphins truly want to bring in a steady veteran presence, McCarthy makes sense. And while Cowboys fans may be glad he's gone, the reality is he had to navigate one of the most toxic front office environments in the league. Escaping from Jerry Jones might have been the best thing for his career. Then there's Robert Saleh. His stock took a hit with the Jets, but was that really on him? The quarterback situation was a disaster, the offensive line was a revolving door, and the front office refused to give him the tools to succeed. Still, the guy never lost the locker room. He remained respected and composed. Now back with the 49ers, he's quietly helping to rebuild one of the league's scariest defenses. If the Dolphins want a high-character guy who can bring intensity and toughness without the Rex Ryan circus, Saleh is worth a look. And we can't ignore some of the rising coordinators either. Jesse Minter has climbed the ranks quickly, following Jim Harbaugh to both Michigan and now the Chargers. He's cerebral, disciplined, and innovative. But can he lead an entire NFL locker room yet? That's the million-dollar question. Chris Shula, Don Shula's grandson, is another name